Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is a special monthly series brought to you by Sexual Intellectual. This is called Man Cave Mondays. And I have here some lovely people with me. I have a friend here named Nestor. I have a guy here y'all might know named Dre.
Yeah.
I have my main man here, DEX. And of course, my main man, Days the Emperor.
You know, I gotta do my intro. My brother from another mother got a sister, and I was missing. That's my guy.
So let's start off with something light. Let's talk about what made you join this podcast. We could start Nestor, same order. Nestor, Dre, Dex, Days.
You asked me.
Yo, I knew somebody was going to say that.
I love that answer. It's so authentic.
I got nothing. Jay asked, I'm here. That's it.
Nah, I mean, I'm not a verbal person. I don't express myself often.
Okay.
But I do enjoy expressing myself when I have something to say.
There it is.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Dre?
Oh, yeah. Well, for me, I thought it was an interesting idea. I think in this day and age to just have people who, number one, identify as men and then say have perspectives as men is kind of dying. And I thought it'd be really interesting to do a podcast coming from a male perspective, but from many different views. I think a lot of times we think as male as this one generic type without forgetting that there's a full spectrum of males out there. And so I think it was very interesting for you to put this together, with all of us being very different men, but still identifying as men. So I was really curious to see how this topic would go.
All right, sweet.
Vote for Dre. I said, he got my vote.
All right, and Dex?
One, you asked. Two, I like podcasts. So why not give it a try with people I know? You know what I mean? Why not give it a try? Interesting topics. Same thing, to ride on what Dre just said. Yeah, why not give it a shot? You know what I mean? Once a month from now, let's see what happens. This might get super entertaining. Who knows? You know what I mean? But it could be fun.
Right. It could be fun.
You know?
All right. And Days, last but not least?
Well, Dre, I said Dre. That's how true it is. Jay, that, I'm supposed to be doing a bunch of things. But sometimes you got to get your cherry pop. Pause.
That's it.
You guys understand it. You got to get your cherry pop. Excellent. Jay, you got to let me finish.
I'm sorry.
You can't be Kanye. Laughing. He didn't even say that. He just laughing at Kanye.
You know what I mean? It's so dope. You know what I mean? It's like I miss that shit. I miss that shit. Honestly, it's just so you. It's like I knew you was gonna be you. I knew it.
No, I appreciate that. No, but Jay asked, but behind closed doors, Jay, we always talk about, yo, D, you need to do something. I be doing things with skirts and stuff like that. So I say, hey, this might be to get the beginning to what it is that I might want to, do for myself. So, and plus, man, I love all you guys. I've met you guys in, different, pockets, but the common denominator is Jay. You feel what I'm saying? So I wanted to experience you guys in this way, intellectually. So not to say that I haven't before, but I think this will be more in depth.
Did you just say you be doing things with skirts though? I'm loving that. I'm loving that.
Skirts.
You know what I mean? He just back to the 50s.
I heard that.
Such and such. He's like, yo, I do things with dames all the time.
I heard that. Broads.
I do things with all kind of broads. But he said it's so smooth.
Yeah, I know. I let it go.
Skirts don't even be everybody.
All right, you're doing skirts.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I'm in tears, and it's only 5 minutes in. I swear to God, I'm in tears, bro.
I'll chime in real quick just so everyone who obviously is not on the inside of this pod knows why I thought it would be a good idea to do it. So I see that there are a lot of podcasts that speak about women's perspective on different things. I see a rise in women podcasts, and I feel like there's a lot of unheard perspectives from the man side. And I think that, yeah, there are men collective podcasts, but I see that a lot of them are from celebrities. And I said, but what about the little guy? What about the average Joe? You know, we have opinions. We have things that affect us. Nah, I'm not on a yacht with Drake. No, but that don't mean things don't affect me. And so I said, okay, you know, I only got like 5, 6 guy friends. Why don't I put all these motherfuckers together and we can all chime in because everyone is from different walks of life, different demographics, identifies with different things, you know. And even though I'm close with all of you, I know that each person may have a different perspective that someone else can relate to, find valuable, etc. And so I say, you know, I think this would be a good idea. Let me see if my guys are down. And everybody was in. So we have one co-host that's not able to make it this time. Hopefully he'll be able to make it next month. And then it'd be all 6 of us. For the viewers, we're going to try to all make it every month. But, you know, tech happens. It may not be able to happen every time. So stay tuned. We'll definitely be cranking out some interesting topics. And the other reason I thought it would be interesting, which has already begun happening, is everybody might want to talk about different things. It's not all about what I want to talk about. Nestor already added 2 topics. And it surprised me. We spoke the other day and I was like, oh, yo, I see somebody added some topics. I think that was Dre because Nestor's like, no. That was me. I said, oh.
Well, you got 2 up there that I was just discussing the other day.
Oh, okay.
Like I was literally the ego thing. I wanted to touch on that like ASAP. Like it's funny. I was gonna do an enlightenment video about it because of the amount of ego that I deal with at work.
Well, let's see how much time we have today. We have 3 core topics today, but if we have time, we could definitely talk ego, and if not, we'll make sure to get to it next pod. So our first topic is, I know the first one. The first topic is a little crazy. Let's start crazy, right? So the first topic is, can a friend,
Let's right out the gate. Let's go, man.
Yeah, let's go crazy out the gate. Why not? You know what I'm saying? Let's keep it entertaining. So the first topic is, can someone you know fuck with your most recent ex? Question mark. And if they do, what happens when you find out? Let's go in reverse order this time. Days, you could start this one.
And I was hoping I wouldn't have to. I swear I saw this on the list. I was like, man, because I just was having this conversation. Well, somebody was having it. They was talking about, I'm going to answer your question, but the dude was saying like, and I think y'all can relate to this conversation, Jay being my guy. He was talking about, you know, being around certain dudes and you with a certain female and dudes trying to kick it to your lady. I said, well, dude, that's not your friend.
What?
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? My thing is, and we just had this conversation yesterday, peep game. Now, if I see you, but he talking about the X thing. We were talking about me seeing, let's say Dex, for example. I see Dex talking to somebody, and then I go right behind the person and talk to the person too after I just seen Dex. See, we was talking about like that. We were talking about the X situation.
Yeah, this is about the X.
Recent? You're saying like recent too, right?
The question is, I'll repeat it. So the question is, what happens if someone you know, can someone you know talk to your most recent ex? So
at this point, I would say good luck, nigga. Like, my bad, I had to get it out of my system. I said, you want to go with my most recent ex, nigga? Good luck, nigga. I will usher you there. Like, you need a chaperone? God damn it. My bad. I'm sorry. I answered it truthfully.
That's all right. So now the second piece is so that's your final answer?
I'll take 500, Alex.
All right.
No final answer.
All right. So what happens when you find out? Let's say Nestor is now talking to your current ex. What happens when you find out?
I want to know what his mental, capacity is like. I want to know. No, well, jokes aside, somebody messing with my most recent ex. I'll be honest with you, and I'm saying we speaking real. I know who the hell my ex is. I don't know. I think I would be bothered at this point with that particular person. But if I find out it was him, I don't know. I would like to know how it came about. You get what I'm saying? Like, hey, how did it come about? You get what I'm saying? Like, yeah.
All right.
Like, did you run into her at Whole Foods, nigga, in the produce aisle? Like,
Produce,
I
you
don't
know what
know.
I'm saying?
Right.
Both was
Yeah,
copying
you
the
gotta
same
eat.
almond milk.
Yeah, you feel what I'm saying? Maybe she was checking out some cucumbers. You dig? And he just felt tempted.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying?
Said he got something that's low calorie too.
It's not a Newport, but it's still live with pleasure.
You know what I'm saying?
Yo, son, you gotta give people time to laugh in between because y'all is crazy, son. I swear, I be seeing you and Dre be going in, but son, yo, it's too much material. Like too many people saying things that's giving people material. So that'll be my response though. I'm curious to see what other people's response.
All right, Dex, you up?
There's a lot of factors here. How close is the someone you know who's want to hang with your ex? Did they know you? Did they walk around, hang out with you when you were a couple? You know what I'm saying? They really hang with you.
Okay.
Because then we gotta question some stuff. This man's been coveting your chick this whole time. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Then we gotta question that. Like, so this is my homeboy, and yeah, you know what I'm saying? He's my homeboy. We've been hanging all this time. We break up a month later. Now they go into the movies. You know what I mean? You know,
Right.
I mean, and he was hanging with me. So that's my thing. Is there's a lot of different factors there.
But Dex, can I ask you a question real quick? Who would you be more upset at? The person or her?
The person. Because he's been with me.
Because like, what if she
she's
knew
a
that
sucker
was your
too.
boy?
But you know what I mean? But
Okay.
Because the thing is, they've been looking at something's been going on. Even though you don't care at this point, she probably was a pain in the neck or a horror. But still, there's something weird to know that behind the scenes, these two were kind of just looking at each other. I mean, all right, if it's like 2 years later, that's a different story. You know what I mean? But I don't know. I just think, you know, there's a lot of women out here. No, I can't say that. If it was like 5 years away and somebody's dating somebody used to date, who cares? But you know, if it's like 3 months from now,
But what if it was 5 months away?
that's now somebody's coveting somebody. You know what I mean? Covetous. Being covetous. You know what I mean? So
Dex said every time he hugged her, she grabbed his hand behind his back.
you know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's like
So Dex, same question. What happens when you find out?
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
I'm curious.
Is this person really my friend? You know what I mean? Maybe if it was an acquaintance, we can't talk about a real friend. But even if it was an acquaintance, then I know. I mean, I guess if it was somebody who's an acquaintance, who cares? I mean, but still, you have to question what was, you know, who was eyeing who in the past. You know what I mean? You know.
Okay.
I always think of
Andre, give it. Ooh, I'm curious.
I always think of when I think of this, I think of like that Sopranos. Everybody here watch the Sopranos? You watch the Sopranos, right?
Of course, that's classic.
Yeah.
Remember when the congressman went to Tony and was like, "Yo, man, I'm dating the Russian chick now." Remember that? Everybody remember that at all?
Yeah.
What happened?
Yeah. I remember.
He said, "You okay with that, man? We really like each other." He was like, Tony was like, "Okay, it's cool, man. It's cool." By the end of the episode, he barged in drunk to the girl's house and beat the shit out that guy in his underwear with a belt. All right, so you don't know how anybody's gonna react.
That's a fact.
You don't know how anybody's gonna react.
He was really upset.
You don't know how anybody's gonna react.
Yeah.
But you know, that's that. That's a random digression.
No, that's
No, I
get it.
It's funny, man, because when you said that, I was actually thinking about, and I have seen that episode, but I was actually thinking about what we all seen, Scarface. When, you know, he's like, "Yo, you could do what you want. Do not date my sister." Like that's the main joint. And they was like, "Tony, we got a surprise." Oh, well, I got a surprise now too. Black.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But you know,
And so,
about that, man. That was I see what you're saying. You know what's annoying about that though? just look, you know, this guy's volatile. Why don't you just say to Tony, look, I would like to ask for your sister's hand in marriage. Like, do it super duper proper. You know what I mean? Yeah. But anyway,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah. But that's
yeah.
why you
No,
don't
no,
know how
but you're right.
somebody's gonna
It's
react.
like,
See, you don't know how somebody's gonna react. You know,
yeah,
that's the
Correct.
catch.
yeah.
So that's why you hide it, because you're afraid of the reaction.
Well, my
All
Yeah.
thing
right.
is, and I brought that up. My thing is, I think a lot of times we look at our relationships or the women that are in our lives as part of our property. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
And that is
Talk to
why
him, Dre.
a lot of times we get so upset because, well, to be frank, that's my pussy. And I already
Mm-hmm.
labeled it and I don't want anybody to have it. You know,
Right.
and if it's even weirder when it's like your family member or whatever. I don't want nobody talking to my sister.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, son, she's a grown woman. She got to make that. That's
Right.
her
Mm-hmm.
pussy. She's gonna do what she wants to do with it. You know what I'm saying? Like she's not being raped. She's, you know. So that's my thing. Is that I mean, I hear what I hear like, okay, yeah, this person is my boy. This person is my friend. And I guess as a friend, you would think the person would say, hey, you know what? I'm interested in so and so, and we're talking. But my thing is, if that didn't happen, you know, I have to look inside myself because it's like, well, obviously I still have feelings for her. If I still have feelings for her and I'm, now I'm hurt because I feel like, man, like, yeah, we didn't work out, but why y'all working out? You know what I'm saying? It's like
Yeah.
that's more of a me issue. That's like
Well,
I have
yeah.
to go ahead.
It's
Go ahead. Go ahead.
natural. No, yeah, but I think it's natural for everyone, even if you break up with somebody. I think it's natural
Yeah.
to to want to say, what do they see better in that person than me? Even if I broke up with her, like especially if it's somebody you know. If it's somebody you don't know, who cares? But if it's somebody you know, there's an inner thing that maybe we have to battle, but you want to say, well, why you went after that guy for? Like what you saw, like you thought he was better than me or something? Like even if the person was a nut.
See, I didn't want to talk
Yeah.
about
Well,
ego,
it could be
but
it could
see
be
how
a
ego
million
ushers
reasons.
his way right
It
in
could
there.
be a million, and I think a lot of times what we also have to understand is that people have fantasies. You know what I'm saying? We don't like to attribute these things to our women sometimes because we like to see them as like angelic creatures that do everything right. But a lot of times, these your women have fantasies of fucking your boy. They have those fantasies. You know what I'm saying?
See, I didn't want to jump. I didn't want to jump on that, but one of my OGs told me this, right? And I love the fact that I could have this response to Drake because Dre's one of the OGs. Dex, of course, too. But I love the fact that Dre ushered this in there. One of my OGs told me, he said, "Don't think for a second that the whole time you with your girl, she not admiring your homies because you guys share similarities.
Of course.
Let's
Yeah,
keep it a
Dre,
stack.
great
Absolutely.
point. Actually, great
Intellectual,
point. You know,
patient, certain
great
people.
point.
That was
The
one of
point
the
is,
realest things my OG said to
yeah,
me. He said, because part of you guys being friends
right.
is the personality similarities and certain interests
Yep.
and certain intellect and things like that.
This,
So the woman is going to
this
pick
is
up
a
on that.
topic
You
that's
get
going
what
to
I'm
come
saying?
back around in another podcast. By the way, very good. Very,
We got to get my
very
guy, though.
days,
I'm waiting for
very
my
good.
guy, though. I'm
This
waiting
is
for Janelle.
something. This is something going a whole different place, but very good, very nice. I like
Listen, I said, I'm on the same platform with Dre.
that.
Oh,
No, but
So, Dre, you
it's
said it
crazy.
best.
true though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Dre, you said it best because the point is, look, we have a lovely girlfriend. She might have an attractive friend. I'm not saying everybody is lusting after the person, but she's attractive. The same thing can happen with your girl. She might see it
Right.
because think they're attractive. She's
Mm-hmm.
not after them, but she think they're attractive. You know what I mean? So, yeah. So
Attractive.
you
Right.
made a good
And
point.
so
Yeah.
And so that's what I'm saying is that a lot of that stuff is inward. It's us feeling like somebody owes you something or that this person belongs to you. You actually have to let that go. If that's your ex, you have to
Correct.
let that go. Now you might have a relationship with your boy where I guess the contract or the parameters of your relationship is, hey, I don't fuck with your ex, you don't fuck with my ex. If that's the way y'all get down, that's the way y'all get down. And if that person violates that, well, then they violated some terms of your relationship. But I can't say every dude in my life, that's the way they're going to work. You know what I'm saying? Like, Some dudes is like, yo, like, y'all broke up? When? Yesterday?
Right. Oh, my turn.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, I've always been after. I always wanted that. So now I'm gonna get my chance.
All right, so
You know, so it's like, yo, if I'm saying we broke up, we broke up. You know,
and you're not expecting this friend to have any kind of courtesy parameters. Right? I won't bring her around you. If he bring her around you and hanging after you've been together with her for a year, what do you think about that?
But see, my thing is that now I got to be real and be like, okay, you know what? I still have feelings for this person. Now, is he responsible for me still having feelings for her or whatever?
No.
You see what I'm saying? So it's like, I still got feelings for you. I know we broke up. She's moved on. She's fucking other niggas. Okay. So now what, you know what I'm saying? Like, what can I do? I have to accept that. Well, one of these other dudes, or one of these niggas is one of your dudes. All right. I got to accept that too. Or just be like, you know what? Because it hurts me, like I'm a human being, it hurts me because I still got feelings for her, that I got to tell son, I wish you the best, but I can't fuck with you no more. Well, why not? Why we can't be homies? Because it still hurts me. See, this is another part that we got to have this conversation.
About the situation.
We got to be real. Like, yo, honestly, it still hurts me. Like, I still have feelings for her. I know we broke up, but so I'm just letting you know I won't be fucking with you anymore. But yeah, you know, y'all live y'all life. Y'all have a great time. But for me to heal means I got to step away from both of y'all. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to torture myself hanging out with you, knowing you fucking with somebody else. I still got feelings for her. I'm a fucking human being. You know, I'm not a robot. What the fuck you want from me? You know what I'm saying? Fuck that shit.
So the follow-up question, what happens when you find out?
Oh, yeah.
What happens when I find out? I might have a conversation with him. You know what I mean? Like, yo, I heard y'all was talking. Oh, okay. All right, and I'll probably say what I just said. If I have feelings for her, I'm gonna say what I just said. If I don't give a fuck, I'm gonna be like, yo, son.
Be honest.
I'm be like, yo, son. She like it when you smack her on the ass. I'm just gonna let you know.
You know what I'm saying?
And I'll let you go, Janelle. Like, there's a song, old Jamaican.
Nestor.
Nestor. I'm sorry, brother. I'm sorry, Nestor. I'm sorry. But there's an old song from like the '90s, you know, reggae wave that used to go. Poom poom cut into two, half for me, half for you.
That's
son. You here with me? You there with me?
Poom poom cut it into.
Come on, man.
Yo, half for me and half for you. Wait.
I'm gonna drink to that.
Who you got?
He brought it back. That was the joke. Boom, boom,
You just had to pass it on to somebody else. You ain't even get mad. You know, it's like, yo, come on, let's cut it too. You getting upset for?
You start passing girls around while you double in the party.
Whatever.
You know what I mean?
All right.
Let's go, Ness. I see you inquisitive.
Let's bring it home. Let's bring it home.
Rubbing his beard.
Bring it home.
Rubbing his beard.
I'm not gonna.
Mosquito living in.
I'm not gonna take a lot of time with this because a lot of like what I had to say has just been said.
All right.
So
reiterate.
Yeah. Basically, the way I personally feel about it, so it's two different parts, right? It's time since the breakup, and it would be how close that person is.
Okay.
To you. So if it's somebody really close to you, well, for me personally, it may not bother me at all, regardless of those two factors. Just because for me, things that are past are past.
So if next week I'm with your wife, it's all good.
Right.
Okay. I'm not.
I'd be curious as to like how things happen so quickly, obviously, but so that'll put me in questioning of you versus, well, we already split, so.
Well, that's what I was saying. You're gonna be curious about.
While whatever each of you do isn't my business, the fact that it is something that happened so quickly put me into questioning, hey, what was going on during the relationship?
Damn, I think I see so many women out here.
So yeah. So as far as like the time thing, that's the only thing that would really affect me is hey, what was happening while things were happening?
Okay.
And then I would go along that same route, like what Dre was saying. Hey, we can't chill no more. We can't talk no more, or even just put distance between me and that person until such time where like I can process whatever it is I'm feeling about everything.
Okay.
You
Yeah.
know, I had this conversation with the queen. I said, like, to some men, when it comes to women, it's a dominance thing, a conquering thing, right? So when you look at that, you know, Shorty got conquered by your man. You know, that changes the aspect of things. Like for me, I like a woman who could fight temptation. You get what I'm saying? Oh,
So
that's not the point I wanted to make. The point I
Yeah.
wanted to make was that's what happens when you get the girl that everybody wants. I wanted to bring that up. Somebody else brought that topic up too. Like when people go after people that everybody want, like hot commodity individuals. Like we all might be hot commodities somewhere else in a whole nother environment. We may not even know that.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So with that being said, whatever woman attracts you, she got to know that everybody else wants you too. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Now, they some people might respect it while y'all together. Some people might not, you know, slide in a DM or whatever. But like Dre was saying, once they get the green light, niggas is pressing on the gas. You feel what I'm saying? Because everybody wanted her. And you got her. And they still wanted her while you was with her. Some people might even felt like you shouldn't even had a turn. You understand what I'm saying? Or you jumped in on their turn. You get what I'm saying?
Let
So
me ask a question.
we can't forget
Let me
that. Is that a factor as well? No, but I'm saying, like, does that play a part as well? Like the fact that the girl could be the girl that everybody wanted, and you got her, you've been with her like 3
So
years.
that's where my situation comes in a bit more unique here, because I'm polyamorous. So I believe that it is definitely possible for people to hold feelings for multiple people at once.
Okay.
And I definitely believe it is possible for multiple relationships to exist at once.
Okay.
So it's
That's
definitely
another
not
good topic
something
for
that
down the road,
would
man.
be.
That's a good topic for down the road. That's
I'm
gonna be a
loving
good
it.
one down the
I'm
road.
loving
I'll tell
it.
you. Write that down.
I want him to elaborate.
Hold on. So, yo,
Yeah, Dex.
That's gonna be good. That's gonna be a good topic,
yo.
man.
First of all, I'm gonna just say this, and then I'll let Dex go in. I'm just glad that they made up that word polyamorous, right? Because when I was doing that shit, they called me a player. But hold on. But now that women are doing it, it's called polyamorous now. You know what I'm saying? When it was just something that men was doing, it's like, oh, you a player. You a player. You know how many times people was calling me the player in the 90s, 2000, you a player. Then all of a sudden, I look up, all these chicks are talking about they polyamorous. Oh, okay, so you want more than one dick in your life. All right. I mean, ain't nothing wrong with that. I'm like, I've been doing that shit for fucking 20 years, but I was looked down upon it. But now everybody's doing it because it's a technical term. All right. Whatever.
What you was gonna say, Dex? And I want to jump in on the topic. Dex?
Oh no, I was gonna just.
Yeah,
You say you
I
want to say
was
something?
just wanted to get. I just wanted to ask. All right, who did this happen to, man? Come on, did anybody experience this? Listen, who did this happen to? Let's just get.
Well, that's what I was about to say. I was gonna keep it real. I've been in both sides.
Who did this?
Well, I felt like mine was
Zane,
the most raw, authentic. Everybody else was coming up with like hypotheticals and shit. Like I got straight to the point. I was like, whoever go after my being, good luck.
All right.
You know, I could have came up with some hypotheticals too.
I can only bring out hypotheticals. My experience isn't that deep.
Yeah.
So I've been on both
Go ahead,
sides
Jay.
of this. I've been a person who dealt with someone's ex, and I've also had people deal with an ex of mine. I think that if you want to mess with the ex, it's fine. I kind of go towards what Dre said about me having to deal with my part, right? So when I was the person, I was asked, hey, I know you and so were in a relationship. I know it wasn't that long ago. How do you feel? And so we had that conversation, but I was approached. I've also been in a situation where I wasn't approached and found out later on down the line, which made me question some of the things you guys said, internal, But also, it made me question the relationship between me and the other guy, right? Is this person a close enough friend for me to feel away? Should I feel away? Should I not feel away, right? Uh, so in that situation, when I found out, I didn't have a conversation because when I did my internal check, I realized me and this guy aren't that cool. We may have been beginning to get cool, but honestly, if it was the other way around, I might not have asked him because we're really not that close. If it was one of the people here on this podcast, totally different conversation. So when it was the other way around, I asked. I said, "Hey, I know you was with this person. It seemed like they kind of feeling me, but I don't want to move forward, regardless of what I feel or don't feel, if you're uncomfortable." And the person said, "I appreciate you. I'm not comfortable." I said, "Okay, then that's it. It doesn't happen. That's as far as it goes then." And he said, "Yeah, but I said, "No, that's it. It's over. If you're not comfortable, the situation ends there because your friendship means more to me than whatever could happen over there." So that's why I thought it'd be a good topic to bring up. Also, on another podcast I listened to, this topic was brought up, and there were a lot of big reactions. I said, "Oh, that's interesting. People seem to be more reactive than proactive." So I said, "Okay." Once we agreed to do this pod, I said, "I got to bring this here and see what happens."
Well, yeah,
That's the thing too. Like that's always what I see.
um,
All right, one at a
My bad.
time. Nestor and then Dex. Go ahead, Ness.
That's what I always happen to see when this topic comes up is all these like huge, just oh no, fuck them, and all this, and it's like chill out, like it's not that serious, really. Like one, it's your ex, like you are no longer involved with that person. There's a reason you're no longer involved with that person.
Right.
Like you shouldn't be worried about what they're doing with their life, and then depending on how close that other person is to you, and like I said, depending on how close, depending on how soon, you're definitely gonna feel away.
Yeah.
But you have no say over what that person does.
Right.
And so it's just up to you to decide, like, hey, am I really going to just give up this friendship because they happen to like this same person that I liked at one time? Or whatever it is.
Right.
And then also, if you're having such a big reaction over an ex, maybe you should reevaluate how you feel about that person and what's going on and why you're reacting in such a way.
Right.
Well, some people factor in morale and principle.
Yeah,
And you see,
I
like,
think we all
life,
agreeing
a
here.
lot
We're
of
just taking
situations-
totally different angles of this thing. By the way, sorry,
Yeah.
sorry about this.
just going based on what he said specifically, what he just said right now, morale and principle. I think that's why some people might have, and even lack of emotional intelligence. When they ask the question, some people might be triggered because they might think about something, and now they have that wild outburst. But going back to morale and principle, everybody don't understand the same principles. You could go to the store and do something and come back, and you might see something so small, but the person might be having such a reaction because they're like, yo, but it's the principle. But you like, bro, it ain't that serious. It was just a bag of chips. But they like, bro, it's the principle. You're my guy. I asked you to get this for me. I really wouldn't expect for you to forget about me because I mean that much to you. See, that's where the principle, the morale part come in. And just going back to your point, they might be factoring that, like, yo, but this is my guy, it's the principle. Because when you think about it too, like if you're around somebody, right, and you see how their relationship go, there's a respect thing. Like you respect that man, you respect how that man loved that woman, you respect how he dealt with that woman, you respect how their relationship was. You understand what I'm saying? Now, I think if you could supersede that and still deal with his lady after the situation was over, I don't really think you respect him. You understand what I'm saying? I don't really think you respect. This is just another perspective. This is, not my personal feelings. I'm speaking openly. I probably could see that as well, but like I was saying, there might be some lack of respect there too.
Okay.
Because as men, as people, we could be very competitive. I was just having this conversation yesterday. People just being very competitive. I could be could treat her better. You know what I mean? I could do better than how he did.
Right.
You know, and in order for you to be feeling like you could do better than me in something or at something or with something, then you have to be looking at me as inadequate in some way, shape, or form. Agree or disagree?
Yeah, I hear that.
Yeah.
But with that feeling,
Dex, I know you wanted to say something.
Okay.
no, go ahead, finish up, Dre. Go ahead. I remember.
No, I
what
was just gonna say, so yeah, I was gonna say, y'all ever saw that movie, the Italian Job,
Yeah.
where this dude, only thing he liked is what the other people liked, right? And sometimes you have these wolves out there that, because I heard all that positive stuff that that Days was saying, and I'm like, yeah, that's nice, but wolves don't think like that. You know what I'm saying?
Nope.
Wolves are like, yo, you know what? I like it because you like it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm trying to cause you heartache and pain, so I'm going after it. Because the moment you feel like, oh, I don't really care about her, they lose interest. But if you in talking to that person, you in their ear, you telling them, yo, man, I don't understand. Yo, man, that was like the woman of my dreams, and I really loved her, and I can't sleep at night. I just think about her all night. That wolf is like, word, I didn't know you felt that way about her. Now I'm definitely going after it because you feel this way about it. You know what I'm saying? So, it's just messed up, but it's people will envy the things that some people anyway will envy the things that you value and want to take that just because you value it. And you got to look out for those wolves. You know what I mean?
True that. Dex?
Wow. Awesome. I love it. It was a great conversation. Two things. Someone thinks you're an
You didn't have something else to say, Dex?
No,
okay.
I think we're all saying the same things, but hitting it from good different angles. I like that. Everybody's kind of saying different things and building off of each other. I love that. But I was thinking about two things. Days and Dre, I'm listening to y'all, both of y'all. Someone that is competitive thinks they're inadequate and they're hanging around with you. You think, does that person try to make a move while you're still dating, or you just think this is the person who's going to pounce once you break up with her? What do you think?
I say both.
Both.
I agree. I'm with Dre.
Okay,
I was gonna say both.
Yeah.
All right, and then in other words,
because remember, the point is, because to go to your point, remember, we can't forget that he thinks you're inadequate. So if he thinks that you're inadequate, then he thinks that he could do everything better than you.
And of course,
even seducing her.
Right. All right, fair enough. Dre, you answered my question. I was about to say, those wolves, are they friends or acquaintances?
Well, that's the thing. A lot of times you don't know that wolf because they're around and they in the sheep's clothing and they giving you daps and they like, yo, son, round on me, and you feel, oh, okay, yeah, getting your guard down. But then when you start analyzing them, you realize like Days is saying, like, man, every time I say 7, this dude say 8. Every time, I go 1 block, he got to go 2. You know what I mean? Like every time, I get the 6 inch, this guy got to get the 12 inch. It's like, yo, what's going on with this guy? You start realizing, like, yo, why are you competing with me with everything, man? Like, we chilling. You know what I'm saying? Like, then I've had enough experiences, me personally, where I've had so-called friends shit on me, where it was just like, okay, now I can see it a mile away. But there was a time in my life where I was like, damn, I got caught off blindside. I thought you was my dude of dudes, and you just you did that for that.
Right.
Nasty.
So can we say trauma plays a part as well?
Sure.
Because
sure.
I think that trauma affects people's perception of things, and I think that goes back to Jay's question about, like, how would you feel if somebody? We going back to the original question about how would you feel if somebody messed with your ex, and if you find out. I think trauma plays a huge part in how you perceive or how you receive that as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
I think a lot of people don't really talk about that enough. They'll talk about being triggered, but the thing is, you need to deal with those triggers. So now people don't got to be making omelets around you everywhere you fucking go.
Well,
You feel what I'm saying?
And there is a thing. There is a thing called being trauma informed, right? So it's like you've been walking around thinking, life is just lollipops and rainbows until somebody come around the corner, slap the shit out of you and take everything from you. Then you realize, oh, wait a minute. Life is not lollipops and rainbows. I got to have my guard up. You see what I'm saying? So now you don't walk around thinking life is lollipops and rainbows. You have your guard up. So it's like, yes, that trauma informed you of some reality. You know what I mean? So it is that too.
But what about the false skepticism? Like, you ever seen the meme where it says a person does something genuine for me, and my traumatized ass think it's a setup.
That's true too.
Where people were being, you become this skeptic. You're being inconspicuous about everything.
Yeah.
That's because you haven't dealt with the trauma.
Right.
Well, remember he said, but he said that it informs you and you put your guard up. And I'm saying, like, they could deal with it, and now they got their guard up, but it's about balance. I don't know if that goes to your point about dealing with the trauma.
Yeah.
There's a balance and knowing when to, when not to.
Yes.
But people pretend so well.
Right.
That's a topic for
going
another
back
time.
to Jay's, to what Dre would say, people pretend so well, man.
Yeah.
You like he said, you thought that was his homie, his ace boom boom. You feel me? Like, people pretend very well, man. Those wolves, they wear that sheep so well, man.
Yeah.
They pull up with a sheepskin coat, goddamn it. I'm telling you.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
All right, let's hit another topic, fellas. Let's keep it moving.
Okay.
We're pretty much done here.
Okay.
How important is sex in a relationship?
Now, is the not important part meaning that it's not good? The important part does that mean how often are we doing it? Like,
The question is,
like,
how important is sex is in terms of it being a part of your relationship? So I'm not saying good sex, bad sex. I'm saying the fact that it exists in your relationship.
Okay. All right.
So I have an opinion about this.
All right.
Go ahead, Ness.
And the opinion isn't whether sex is or isn't important.
Okay.
I think it's about sexual compatibility.
Okay.
Is what's important.
Yes.
So, and also, understanding of your partner. Because one person could have a really high sex drive, one person could have a really low sex drive.
Yep.
But it would be something that both of you have to work with and understand about each other, and then also, find compromises in that. Yeah. So I don't think sex itself is necessarily important, but sexual compatibility is.
Okay.
I agree.
Dre Dex.
Yeah, sex is important in a relationship. Absolutely.
Time out. Son, but why?
Like, step up like you came to the podium.
Next.
I would like to.
It keeps. I think it keeps the
deliver this
relationship
message to
healthy.
America.
It keeps the relationship healthy, and what Nestor said to ride what he was just saying. Maybe somebody may have a stronger sex drive than another, but if you work to a middle, a common ground, and keep a healthy relationship might keep a lot of things going longer than you expected. I mean, if there's a certain bond and connection there, if you're in a relationship, you know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. So yeah, it's important.
Yeah.
Communication.
Absolutely.
Comprehension. You can communicate all day. Some people just don't comprehend. So comprehension and communication. CNC.
Yep.
CNC.
All right, Dre.
Yeah, for me, sex is not that important in a relationship. For me, what's important is passion and intimacy. I have to feel. So sometimes, you say sometimes sex can be very routine. Like, if sex is like washing the dishes, it's just an activity, I'd rather not do it. You know what I'm saying? I need heat. I need intimacy. I need passion. You know what I'm saying? Now, when I say I need heat, intimacy, and passion, we might share that, and the sex might have nothing to do with it. You know what I'm saying? It's that because I feel what Days is saying, like, oh, that first time we met. Think about the first time you met, that first time you got with that shorty. Remember that time when you could spend 2 hours on the phone with her, just talking about anything?
Facts.
That's
Facts.
passion. That's intimacy. It's like, man, we was on the phone for 3 hours. I was just talking about nothing, but I just love talking to her. That's that closeness. You know what I mean? That to me is important in a relationship. We could never have sex. In fact, and maybe this is just me getting older, right? Because it's like things happen to people. You know what I mean? I've had friends that may have gotten cancer or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Or anything could happen to somebody where they may not physically be capable to have sex for whatever reason. People have surgeries and all kinds of stuff. Women get things removed because something went wrong. So it's like, for me, I'm not gonna be like, oh well, your pussy don't work, it's out, But if we have that passion still, if we still have that, we still share that intimacy. If I'm still like, yo, it's been the romance, right? It's been like 3 years, and I could still talk to this chick for 4 hours about fucking nothing. I enjoy being around her. That's the intimacy. That passion is still there. Like, man, when I still get, I know it's been 5 years, but I still get a little nervous when I'm around her. There's something about it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, that to me means more in a relationship than just, put your drawers down and I'm gonna stick my thing in. Like, that's.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's saying like that. I mean, I think. Hold on, I don't think anybody's saying just be an animalistic, like quest for fire. You know what I mean? Quest for fire. Quest for fire.
But
I think I agree with you. I think you love the passionate and all those good feelings, but that's a good fact of showing the healthiness from that. You know what I mean? That's a good product of those things. That's what I'm trying to say. Yes, so that's what I mean. It's important. I don't just think it's just like, oh yeah, we gotta have sex and we gotta find a way to, that'll help everything. No, I mean, it's a byproduct of what you're talking about. Good, healthy sex. Yes, that's what I mean. In that way. But I agree with you.
All right, so I'm gonna go deep for y'all. Pause, because I know we talking about sex, right? So would it be safe to say that sex it's not always a physical thing? Because I'm listening to what y'all brothers are saying, and I'm saying to myself, well, that sex is not always a physical thing, because like he's saying with the whole intimacy, a conversation could be, is sex is it subjective?
No, sex is the physical act. Yeah, my man. You know what I'm saying? Same time.
To the dictionary.
So
you understand what I'm saying? Like,
I get what you're saying.
Yeah, the way Dre is talking about it, it's not always a physical thing, and I agree.
Well, he's talking about intimacy, which definitely isn't always a physical thing.
Correct.
So intimacy can encompass a lot of things.
Yes.
And it changes depending on the relationship, which is kind of a piggyback of what Dre was saying. Relationships evolve and change, and different things become important in the relationship at different points in time. So it's not always going to be where sex is a priority or even sex is that important. But intimacy is going to be a huge factor throughout, like, the longevity of the relationship, because that's how you kind of gauge where both of you are at together, and the intimacy can represent or present in different ways.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I think that there's 3 tiers when it comes to pleasing a partner or in a relationship, right? When you have a fuck buddy, not really. But once you evolve to a relationship, I see 3 things. I see physical, mental, and emotional. Right? At your job, this is my opinion, your job in the relationship is to make sure that these 3 things are always good for your significant other. And in my opinion, they should be doing the same. Are you good physically? Are you good mentally? Are you good emotionally? Sometimes they intertwine. Sometimes they're separate. You might be great physically, but fucked up emotionally, right? So all these things are different, but I think that in a relationship, these things play an equal factor. Yeah, like Dre and Nestor said, they're gonna change. It's gonna be a day when you say, I really need more emotional today. I really need more physical today. I really need more mental today. I'm very big on mental. I don't mind personally putting the physical to the side if we're going to deep dive on this mental. Because for me, if you could turn me on mentally, yo, that sex is never going to be a problem.
Facts.
You feel what I'm saying? So that's my take on it. Yeah, I think sex is important, but I think it's one. I think it's 33%. You get what I'm saying? I think it's 1/3 of the pie when it comes to pleasing your significant other. And yeah, compromise is always important in any relationship. And yeah, that means sex too. Because maybe you want to fuck all day, but I don't have time to fuck all day. It doesn't even mean I don't want to. I just got shit to do. So we're going to have to compromise. That's how it goes.
Yeah. You know, can I do a quick true story time? So,
Yeah, yeah. Then I want to hit this last
and this
topic.
and this will be quick. So there was a young woman, a friend of mine, way back in the day, who when she was like maybe 31, 32, got cancer. It happens. You know what I'm saying? And it was devastating, obviously. And her and I were like, in terms of intimacy, always close. You know what I'm saying? Close, kept in contact with each other, kept in contact with each other for years, 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 years. Well, fast forward, she never beat the cancer, and in her like last few weeks on this planet, she was like, Dre, if I get the strength, I'm gonna come out there and see you. She came out here, and I met at the airport, wheelchair, everything. It was like tough. Came here, spent the night in my apartment. I'm trying to be like the gentleman, like, oh, you could take my bed. She was like, no, no, I want you to come sleep with me. You know what I mean? We slept next to each other. We didn't have any sex, but it was incredibly intimate. You know what I'm saying? It was like we talked about everything in life. We had a really great time. And shortly after that, she passed away. And I was honored to be like, yo, one of the last people she wanted to see was me. You know what I mean? And so that's what I mean about like the passion and intimacy. No, that and what was crazy because some, niggas are niggas. They was like, yo, so how was it fucking a cancer patient? I'm like, son, word, really? You know what I mean? I'm like, no, we didn't fuck. Like, what the grow the fuck up? You know what I mean? Like that wasn't because sometimes that's the way niggas think. They're just so simplistic. It's like, if there's a woman at your house, if she in your bed, she getting fucked. And it's like, well, I'm not 18 no more. I don't think like that.
Right,
You know what I'm saying? So
right.
it's like, she came here, we slept in the same bed, we talked all night. It was like a slumber party. And I was honored to be like, man, I was like one of the last people she made an effort, used her like last strength to fucking see. You know what I mean? And so that's what I mean by like intimacy. It's like it goes beyond just transferring fucking, substances and shit. You know what I mean?
Yo,
Whatever.
yeah, go ahead, Jay. I know you want to touch on the last because
Oh,
we
no, I'm good.
you
I'm good.
okay
If you
because
got something, go
we
ahead.
be talking because we be talking Dre over here sparking the ideas in my mind. Just hearing him talk, it makes me think about like what we be talking about when we say what you doing in between rounds, right? And I would have to say, man, I learned a lot about some women, when it wasn't physical. You get what I'm saying? We there, and we have been physical, so now there's some comfortability, there's some vulnerability. You get what I'm saying? And you get to see people too. Like there's sometimes a woman might see something in the man when she like, oh yeah, I ain't dealing with this dude again. You know what I'm saying? Sex is a very vulnerable thing. You get what I'm saying? And like Jay said, when you take the physical out of it, it can really enhance things. You know what I mean? It
Yeah,
can, because now you you get fixated and focused on other components of the
yeah,
relationship.
Yeah.
So
absolutely,
yes,
All right.
absolutely. Anything else before we move on to this last topic? Everybody's good. All right. So this last topic is a heavy one, and I don't know how people are gonna feel, but I sent the link to everybody. There is a Republican-backed bill. I normally wouldn't say this, but that is who's co-signing. It's a list of Republicans who are pushing this bill, presenting this bill. It is headed by a senator from North Dakota who's named Kramer. And Senator Kramer wants to push the Unborn Child Support Act. And so there are three key things to this bill. I'm going to read them because the public may not be aware of this bill. I've been asking some people if they're aware, and people are not. So I wanted to see what my co hosts would think about this topic.
Co-host / public. I'm part of the public too.
What happened?
He said the public don't know. I said, yeah, I'm part of the public.
All right. So the goals of the bill. The Unborn Child Support Act allows a court, in consultation with the mother, to award child support payments while the child is still in the womb, and retroactively up to the point of conception as determined by a physician. It also, one, provides flexibility for mothers who do not want involvement of the father by not requiring those mothers to receive child support. Two, requires judges to consult with mothers on payment plans and gives mothers discretion as to whether or not child support payments will be awarded retroactively. And the last thing is it mandates that all paternity tests be at the discretion of the mother and not be conducted if the test would put the child at risk.
At risk of what?
Don't know.
See, I love those sentences. At risk. At risk of what?
Period. There's a period at the end. That's what they put up there.
That's a shame.
So, since I started last each time, I'll start first this time.
Okay.
I think this is a load of bullshit, to speak plainly. Yes, there are financial requirements for anyone who is expecting. You need to get things beforehand. Sure. My main concern, although I have many, my main concern is that they're saying at the end here that getting a paternity test is basically up to the mom. And it's only going to happen if it doesn't put the kid at risk. I don't know if anyone here ever had a paternity test, but normally a paternity test cannot be done until the child is a month old. If you are retroactively paying child support from the quote unquote inception recommended by a physician, you're paying 9 months for a baby that's not yours, and then an additional month just to get the paternity test. That's 10 months of child support on a kid that may not be yours. That is extremely problematic to me. How often does this happen? That people need a paternity test? Pretty fucking often. Ask Maury Povich. I think that is some ridiculous shit. And I think there's a lot to unpack here, but those are my two biggest concerns. I think it's really fucked up that this is another thing being done against men. It does not surprise me that this is the new thing they want to push because of all the things that they are trying to pass to balance out what happened with Roe v. Wade. And so it seems to me that they're saying, oh, there's a group of people trying to salvage the things that have to do with contraceptives and the ability to have an abortion in states and federally. Well, then let's do something to make sure that people are paying literally if they decide to have a baby. And it seems to me that this is coming from a very religious place. The way, if you read the article from Kramer's website that I sent you guys, it seems that their stance is from a religious standpoint. And I don't think that religion should be the reason bills are passed. So that is my other big concern. I don't give a fuck what your religious beliefs are. You cannot impose them on the nation. And so those are my thoughts. You guys can chime in.
I'm glad you brought up Roe v. Wade because one of the points that I was focusing on this was those quotes that came after.
Yeah.
Because every single quote included the line "Life begins at conception."
Yep.
So just considering that this bill particularly is using the idea that life begins at conception to push that um is crazy. Like that part alone, just that's wild. And that's just another rollover from like Roe v. Wade getting overturned and all of that happening.
Yeah.
Um, I do believe that if the father doesn't want to give up their rights and child support's going to be a thing, that and there's no dispute over them being the father, then paying some kind of support over the 9 months should be required, just because that prenatal care is ridiculously expensive a lot of the time.
Sure.
So if they're deciding that they do want to keep whatever parental rights, they don't have any doubt that they're the father, yeah, they should definitely be paying for shit during that time. But the way this bill is structured, it's like, well, even if you have doubt, too bad, and just you have to do it, and regardless of that doubt, regardless of if you want to even keep your parental rights, period. So it just removes that choice from them as well.
Dex, Dre, Days.
Why now?
Roe v. Wade.
Roe v. Wade. This is the perfect time to push something like that.
Of overturning Roe v. Wade.
Oh, well, that's always like my question. That's always like my question when I see like there's something that that has been going on for so long, and now all of a sudden they want to change it or they want to alter it. I always say, why now? There has to be more to it. You understand what I'm saying?
It's because of the Roe v. Wade. So Roe v. Wade was overturned, and there's a lot of things that are attempted. There's a lot of things they're trying to do to rebalance the scales. And so I think, and Nestor seems to share the same sentiment, that this is a reactionary bill to those bills that are being presented. I think they're trying to get ahead of it. They're saying, okay, they're going to push things that allow people to have abortions, allow people to have contraceptives, allow people to have gay marriage, because I'm only bringing that up because these are all the things that are intertwined in the Roe v. Wade and the other things that Clarence Thomas is trying to challenge, change, etc. So it seems like they are saying, oh, they're pushing 3 different bills to keep the things that Roe v. Wade affected. Then we're going to get ahead of them and say, okay, do these things then.
Because the language of the bill is pushing the idea that life begins at conception.
Yeah.
So if they're able to like push that idea and make that legislation that it's life begins at conception, hey, we already got bills on the books, we got laws on the books that say, that already say it, then it's going to be easier to dispute like any other arguments against it, because legally it's already in play.
And now an abortion would be killing someone.
Yeah.
That's what that language is telling us. Because if you're saying the moment a baby is conceived, it is a living being, then an abortion would be killing a living being.
Which scientifically
we know is not the case. Yeah.
Yeah, we know scientifically that's not the case, which I think is crazy. Wow.
So
scientifically that's not the case, but they're trying to state that through literature.
Well, that's what I'm saying. This is coming from a religious standpoint, clearly. A lot of the quotes in the article are quoting that type of language that Nestor said. Then
that makes it one-sided.
Exactly my point. Chime in, brother. Weigh in. Come on.
Because if we're going based off of one religion, that makes it one-sided.
But that's the best part, is even the religion that they're quoting doesn't believe life begins at conception.
Oh, wow.
That's the best
hypocrisy part. Wow.
That's the best part of it.
Wow. It's just a walking contradiction. That's crazy.
That's called politics, baby.
Yeah. a pile of tricks.
That's right.
Um,
X, Dre.
just it's a effective Roe v. Wade. It's just a kind of a sign of kind of punishment. You get pregnant. We don't want you to get rid of the baby. We're going to make you carry that baby for 9 months. And if you complain about you don't have money to do it, well, we're going to make sure the father starts from conception paying for it, so you can't complain about it. That's it. It's a punishment. It's their way of trying to punish.
The issue is you can't
Yeah.
afford it. Don't
All right.
worry. Don't
And
worry.
You
You're
can't
good. You
keep
have
that baby
support.
because of that. All right, we're gonna make
Gotcha.
him pay from conception on now. So now you can't say nothing.
No, but now
And,
who's left to bicker though? Like the back and forth, the tug of war now begins between the two people, and once again, higher ups just sit back and just watch how things unfold.
Well, it's the court. The bill is saying that things are at the mother's discretion. That's what I read.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there is no back and forth. It's at the mother's discretion.
Ouch.
Right?
Yeah, I gotta.
It completely boxes the man into a corner.
Well, I gotta.
That's why I
'Cause
didn't say anything.
Whether you have doubt, it doesn't matter because if the mother doesn't want a paternity test, she can say no,
Wow.
and all of that. Just it's the mom's decision whether or not you're going to pay, or whether or not you can test, or whether or not you have that opportunity to opt out.
Wow.
Go ahead, Dre.
Yeah, so I have to agree with Dex. It's a punishment, obviously. It's coming from a perspective where it's punishing women and definitely punishing men. And I guess first things first, if it passes, niggas stay out of South Dakota. I know ain't many much of us there, but stay the fuck out of that bitch. Two, I could just think of so many scenarios, and we'll see what kind of backlashes get. But let's say you got some young woman who decides that she's gonna fuck the starting lineup of the fucking football team. Things happen. Now everybody done dripped and dripped. You got to pick one person to say that this is the father. You know what I'm saying? And now you're telling that dude that's like, well, all 18 of us ran up in there. Why are you picking me? Well, you're the captain of the football team, so I'm picking you. You see what I'm saying?
Because you Tom Brady.
And so what that says is that, hey, women, you don't have to be responsible for your bodies. Whatever happens, just indiscriminately choose any guy you've happened to have sex with, or maybe even didn't have sex with, because you could run up to her, you could just pick any dude and be like, we had sex, and the guy's like, no, we didn't. Well, yes, we did, but the court is not going to allow any challenges. So you can just pick whatever random stranger you want and say he's the father. The way this is written, from what you're telling me, there's no challenge because the woman has to challenge it. And so it does go back to this like angelic sense of women, like they only have sex with one guy and they're faithful, and it's bullshit. They're people, and they're going to make choices, and a lot of women choose to be polyamorous and fuck raw, as we all fucking know, and it could be anybody's fucking kid. And it's we make these laws, but I think that sometimes we got to go beyond what a law says and really think about what's right and what's wrong. And as we know, in this society, there are plenty of laws that we know are morally wrong. You know what I'm saying? And so South Dakota, if they pass this, they're going to have more problems.
North Dakota.
Who? North Dakota, I said? Or is it South Dakota or North Dakota?
Yeah, it's North Dakota, but they're trying to push it on a federal level.
Yeah. So if they pass this, they're going to have a lot more problems because a lot of civil suits or whatever the case might be, because you're not looking for truth. You're looking for convenience. And just by telling this woman, hey, you could choose any guy you want, and then that guy will just have to, because you said it, as if her word is fucking God or something. You know,
Right.
women are human beings, and some human beings lie, and we're going to have a lot of those kind of problems. You know, this law sounds like it's very, you know, it used to be back in the days they didn't even really send women to prison. It was like incredibly rare because they didn't think women could do certain crimes. So for decades, women were getting away with fucking murder because they would just be like, I would never do something like that. Oh my God. And killing motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? And we had to use what? Science and DNA and shit like that to say, hey, wait a second, this bitch killed this person. You see what I'm saying? Or did whatever wrong things you need to go to jail. And I feel like we're going backwards now, where we're saying, hey, we don't want science to play a role in this. We're just going to go off what
Right.
this woman says, and that's enough. And nothing will be challenged. That's not going to fly. And you're going to have a lot of people, like most laws that are wrong, you're going to have a lot of people fighting those laws and completely
Facts.
disregarding them,
Yeah.
period.
Yeah.
Guys,
I think
I
another
think I
thing
gotta get
that's
out of
really
here.
fucked up is
All right.
you got to go.
Yeah, man. I gotta meet my daughter.
All right.
Unfortunately.
All right, man. Thanks again,
Uh,
Dex.
Guys, great. This is great.
No, most definitely. My brother.
Yes, sir. Peace.
All right, peace.
All right. And then there were four.
Mm,
I was saying, I think another thing that's really fucked up is that retroactive part, because if you're telling me, hey, even if I did get the person pregnant, maybe I had no knowledge. There's all type of different factors, and now retroactively means you got to pay from 9 months ago, maybe 10 months ago,
yo,
maybe a year. You might not even know you have a kid. And
facts.
remember, this is
Or they
alleged,
might
but
not even tell you
that's what
and
I'm
let
saying.
it
So
compound
exactly.
accumulate.
So let's say, forget about alleged. Let's say you did get a woman pregnant. She knows for sure it was you. You know for sure it was you, but you ain't know she got pregnant. Y'all had a good time. It was over. All right, baby. See you later. Things end. No problem. Days, you got to pick up your camera. We can barely see your face.
I know it's because of what I'm doing.
Oh, you got it. No problem. Minding my business. Uh,
Yes, sir.
so you don't know. A year passes. No, excuse me. The child is now 1 year old, and you get a summons. You get a subpoena. You got to go to court, and now you have to pay a year plus 9 months of child support. And don't forget, you're also paying now. So you're paying starting today, and you owe us a year and 9 months.
Mm.
So let me get 21 months back pay plus whatever the fuck we say you gotta pay now. How do you know I have $10,000 to give y'all like that? What if I just don't have $22,000 sitting in under my mattress? Now what happens?
You're putting a lot of people in debt.
So
Easy.
I'm just in the hole whatever number y'all fucking decide? Because
Okay.
anybody who did anything in court knows them niggas don't give a fuck about you. Hey, listen, you owe 22,000, and if you don't make a payment by Friday, you're going to jail. Word? I just go to jail now? I ain't seen this woman in 22 months. Now I'm going to jail? Wow.
So it could have been a one night stand. I
It
don't
could have
even
been
know what
it
she
could have been
did.
anything.
Yeah.
And so now pay how you weigh or you go away. That
Bars.
shit is fucked up. Y'all are welcome to chime in. That was just my last piece I wanted to say, because I think there's a lot of issues leaving everything at a woman's discretion. I don't want to say a woman, at the woman's discretion. It just doesn't work like that. Deciding,
And
leaving everything in her hands. So you saying, forget about 3/5 of a man. I'm worth nothing. I'm only worth whatever bill y'all say I got to pay every month.
So I went looking up the bill itself just to see the wording in the actual bill, because I like to do that and not take the word of the article straight out.
Yep.
Um, and from the wording in the bill, it looks like it's not necessarily trying to change too much more beyond just adding that 9 months. So one part, yes, it's saying paternity can be tested at the discretion of the mother, um, which is a huge change and is crazy. But it is saying, like, if paternity can be determined pre-birth, then only, like, not at risk of the child.
Yeah, but
Because
how the fuck do
apparently
you
it
determine that
seems like
before a kid is born?
uh, no
You
idea,
just play
but
pin the tail
that's
on
what
the nigga.
they're that's part of what it's saying. So I think post birth, all regular rules apply. So however they handle retroactive pay in those situations, if retroactive uh, would be given, then it would include those 9 months. I don't think it's saying, oh, automatically retro, you got to pay all this. I think everything is still determined as it normally would be in court,
Okay.
and then they'll tack on the 9 months as well, if retroactive is something that's being awarded.
All right. I mean
So,
that.
like, the article, like, pushes it to, like, this is happening and this is the way it's gonna be, and it's not really doing that, because all of it is just is add-ons to whatever's already in place, and the big add-on is unborn child, and that's I think a bigger issue with it versus because I don't think it's really trying to force, hey, that's it, you got it, and that's it. um I mean, based on the wording of some of the stuff, it can be played that way still, but it's more add-ons to what's already there, and that's what their focus is adding on that unborn child uh, to behind child. So it's child and unborn child, or unborn child. They want to add into the to the wording of the laws that's there.
So can we say that they kind of took the responsibility out of the state's hand? Because like when a woman is pregnant, all of the like the visits and the the paternity, like you guys said, the prenatal kit and all that, they would go to the hospital, do things through I assume the health, right, the health plan or whatever health care that they have. So the child support would factor in on that, correct?
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
the
it would
idea is that
basically,
she would have the funds to do those things. Yeah.
right, right.
Okay. I was just
So
trying to
that's
understand.
the whole idea of it. Is, hey, now you got to pay for prenatal care. Is what it's trying to push, but with the wording, they're deciding to tack on unborn child into the wording of the law that's already in place.
WIC, all that. So WIC wouldn't even be a factor, or would that still be a factor?
I don't think it would.
Affect that?
However it currently affects child support laws, those will still be in place. Their focus is that 9 months. It's hey, life begins at conception. So that's kind of their whole thing and their whole push.
All right. So I think I get it now. So now it ain't even about her giving birth and you signing the birth certificate.
Right. It's just whatever's in place is still there. They're not looking to change whatever's there, besides adding unborn child to the end of everything that says child. So it's child. Any statement within the law already that says child for child support, they want to tack on or unborn child
Gotcha.
onto it.
Yeah,
Uh,
but the fact that,
Diction is important. Diction is very important. Semantics.
well, yeah, the verbiage plays a big role, because when it comes
Yeah.
time to appeal, when it comes time to challenge, that verbiage is what's called upon, because they'll
Right.
quote, oh, line number 7 says paragraph 4, line 3 says, and they will use that to support their
Yep.
arguments.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Dre?
Dre, anything else?
Nope, I'm good.
Okay. Even with Nestor's updates?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't necessarily change anything I'm saying. You know, it still doesn't.
Right.
Yeah.
It still has a perspective that the woman isn't responsible for her decisions. You see what I'm saying? It's still
Yeah.
saying, well, you
Yeah.
know, women don't lie and they'll just be honest. And so whoever they deem to be the parent or the father is the father, and that's about it. If you're leaving it at her discretion, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
that's absolutely ridiculous, you know.
Yeah.
And you know, so as far as I'm concerned, wrong is wrong, you know. And to think that just because somebody has a vagina gives them some sort of moral aptitude is absolutely fucking nonsensical. Um, you know, your vagina doesn't give you a moral sense of anything. So, you know,
Right.
I mean, whatever, you know, and then there's no sense of like, hey, you have your body, you need to be completely in charge of it, and you know who is, you know, take measures so that you don't get pregnant. But if you do, you got to kind of know who the father is, you know, and if you don't, got to get on a journey and find out who it is. Period.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think it should be a group. You know, it should be a two-person thing. You know what I'm saying? It took two people to have that action. You know, that sexual action. So I think it should take two people to make that decision. I think that's part of the whole adult maturity thing. You know, somebody might come to you and say, "Hey, you know, I think I'm pregnant." You feel what I'm saying? And you like, okay. It might be like, I think it's you. You know. So then at that point, you can say, okay, you know, we both can go down here and do a paternity test and see if it's me or not. You know, I don't think that decision should be left up to one person. I think it should be, two people. You know, I don't know. I always looked at things like that. You know, even when I was in that situation, like I was, I was with it. I'm like, all right, come on, let's go, let's check. It wasn't like that person was going to go and they was going to make the decision if we was going to be parents or not. It was, it was a conversation between two individuals. Nobody wasn't forcing nobody to do nothing. You get what I'm saying? It was, you know, because people really might not be ready for that in a variety of different ways. It don't even always got to be financial. Some people mentally not there. Some people, their lifestyle might not reflect that. You get what I'm saying? I always, look at people when they, talk about like, being parents and things like that. And sometimes you got to really say to somebody, I'm like, bro, you ain't really ready for that. Like, you
Right.
know what I mean? They might look at you crazy, but it's like, bro, like, I'm not saying this to offend you. I'm just saying this, because I'm around you. I see how you move. I see how you think. Some of the things you engage in. You know, some people they really not ready for that.
But
You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like in a variety of different ways.
yeah, and that's the whole point of what I'm saying is that the laws need to reflect reality, not this like
Okay.
uh religious or Christian perspective. I think that's the whole problem with this. Because even if you feel like abortion is wrong or any of these things are wrong, I believe you got to give people the opportunity, the right to be wrong. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's not your fucking life. So who are you, government, to say they can't do this and they can't do that? Now, what you're saying, Days, is two mature people. Now, that'd be great. But what we know in society, a lot of people who are getting pregnant, having babies, aren't really all that mature. You know, now if you luck up to get with a mature person who can, use some deductive reasoning, great for you. But there's plenty of scenarios where the people are not mature. And if they know that the law allows them to lie and without any, repercussions, why not just lie?
Right.
No, I agree with you. I wasn't even going based on the people per se. I was with you on the law. Like, I'm not really a fan of anybody telling somebody what they can or cannot do when in life you got free will.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? And now whatever you do with that, that's on you. But at the end of the day, you got free will. Now somebody telling you you can't do this because of what their beliefs are, nah. You know, I ain't with that. We don't have the same beliefs. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like
Yep.
what you feel, and we ain't even talking about right or wrong. We talking about perspective, because their right or wrong is subjective as
Right.
well. You get what I'm saying? Like, for real. Like you said, it's based on Christian beliefs, right? Somebody said that
Yeah,
it's
that's what
based
I
on
said.
religion. So yeah, that like I said earlier, that makes it one sided.
Very much so.
Right.
Because with religion comes fervor, and it's hard to really, direct somebody away from that fervor, because they believe that strongly about it. There's nothing you can do to pierce it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Well, any last thoughts from anybody before we wrap it up? No. All right. Well, I think this was a great first episode. Thank you, fellas, for joining, and thank you,
Yes.
Dex, even though he had to run out. And thank you, whoever is watching and listening. We appreciate you as well. And hopefully you enjoyed this, found some value. If you have anything you disagree with, or maybe something you would like us to chime in on, put it in the comments, and we'll evaluate it and see if we think it's something we should chime in on. Uh, and that's it. Thanks again, and we'll see y'all in a month.